Ali Khamenei died amid fire and fury, the final chapter of a reign that had come to define the Islamic Republic of Iran for more than 3 decades. His death, reported in late February 2026 during a period of nationwide upheaval, followed months of mass protests, violent repression, and mounting international confrontation. In the final stretch of his rule, Iran was convulsed by economic collapse and popular revolt, while Khamenei authorized the harshest crackdowns of his career, branding protesters as foreign-backed rioters and granting security forces sweeping license to crush dissent. The brutality of these measures, which claimed thousands of lives, sealed his legacy for many Iranians as a ruler who chose survival of the system over reconciliation with his people. By the time of his death, Khamenei's authority had long rested on a tightly controlled fusion of clerical legitimacy, military power, and economic domination. His leadership was marked by repeated controversies: the violent suppression of student protests in 1999, the crushing of the 2009 Green Movement, the killing of demonstrators during the 2019 fuel price protests, and the deadly repression of the 2022 Woman, Life, Freedom uprising that followed the death of Mahsa Amini. Human rights organizations accused his government of systemic torture, mass imprisonment, and executions. Religious minorities, particularly members of the Baha'i faith, as well as LGBTQ+ communities, faced sustained persecution under institutions loyal to him. Khamenei's rule was also defined by enduring controversy over Iran's nuclear program. While he publicly maintained a religious decree forbidding nuclear weapons, his government oversaw a vast expansion of uranium enrichment, prompting critics to accuse him of using theology as diplomatic cover for strategic ambition. His handling of the COVID-19 pandemic further damaged his standing when he banned imports of Western vaccines, a decision widely blamed for preventable deaths. Perhaps the most corrosive controversy of all concerned legitimacy. When he succeeded Ruhollah Khamenei in 1989, Khamenei lacked the clerical rank traditionally required for supreme leadership. The constitution was altered to accommodate him, but senior clerics challenged his religious authority for years. As he aged, rumors that his son, Mojtaba Khamenei, was being groomed as successor fueled public anger over what critics called the emergence of a clerical monarchy. Behind the scenes, Khamenei presided over an immense shadow economy anchored in the foundation known as Satad, a network built on confiscated property and opaque financial holdings that stretched across major sectors of Iran's economy. Although he cultivated an image of personal austerity, this financial empire gave him political independence from the formal state budget and cemented his dominance over rival power centers. Long before he became the most powerful man in Iran, Ali Khamenei was born on April 19, 1939, in the northeastern city of Mashhad, into a religious family of modest means. The second of 8 children, he grew up in poverty, later recalling days when his family survived on little more than bread and raisins. His father, Javad Khamenei, was a cleric who instilled in him a traditional religious education from an early age, while his mother, Khadija Mirdamadi, came from a family of religious scholars. Khamenei began studying the Quran as a child and entered seminary training in Mashhad before continuing his religious education in the Shia centers of Najaf and Qom. In Qom, he studied under leading clerics, including Khamenei, whose revolutionary vision would profoundly shape his political path. Although he showed talent as a theologian and literary critic, translating Arabic works into Persian and cultivating a love of poetry, his studies were cut short when he returned to Mashhad to care for his ailing father. This interruption meant he never attained the highest traditional clerical rank before the 1979 revolution, a fact that would later haunt his claim to supreme authority. In the 1960s and 1970s, Khamenei emerged as a dissident preacher opposing the rule of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. He was repeatedly arrested, imprisoned, and exiled for organizing protests and distributing revolutionary literature. These years forged his reputation among Islamist activists as both a committed cleric and a political agitator willing to endure hardship for the cause. After the 1979 revolution, Khamenei quickly rose through the new power structure. Appointed to the Revolutionary Council, he served in key military and political roles, became Tehran's Friday prayer leader, and was elected to parliament. In 1981, following the assassination of Mohammad Ali Rajai, Khamenei was elected president, becoming the first cleric to hold the office. His presidency coincided with the devastating Iran-Iraq War, during which he cultivated close ties with the military and frequently appeared at the front lines. Yet even then, his tenure was marked by bitter rivalry with Prime Minister Mir Hossein Mousavi, exposing deep divisions within the revolutionary leadership. When Khomeini died in 1989, Khamenei was elevated to supreme leader in a contested succession that reshaped the Islamic Republic. Over the next 30 decades, he transformed the position into the undisputed center of power, extending his influence over the judiciary, the military, the media, and the economy. His long rule stabilized the regime, but at the cost of entrenching authoritarianism. In private life, Khamenei maintained a reserved family world. He married Mansoura Khojesteh Bagherzadeh in 1964, and together they raised 6 children, most of whom lived away from public view while benefiting from proximity to power. Even as he projected the image of a simple cleric living modestly, the institutions under his control accumulated extraordinary wealth and influence. By the time of his death, Ali Khamenei had become one of the longest-serving leaders in modern Middle Eastern history. To supporters, he was the guardian of the Islamic Republic against foreign pressure and internal fragmentation. To critics, he was the architect of a system built on repression, censorship, and fear. His life traced the arc of post-revolutionary Iran itself, from revolutionary fervor and wartime sacrifice to entrenched authoritarian rule, leaving behind a country deeply shaped by his decisions and deeply divided over his legacy.